The Sapphire Preferred and Sapphire Reserve are two premium travel cards issued by Chase. And since you cannot be approved for either of these cards if you currently have one open or if you got a bonus on one in the past 48 months, you have a decision to make. I personally have had both of these cards over the years. Right now I just have the Preferred open because it makes the most sense for me and my strategy right now. But that's the purpose of this video, is to help you figure out which of these two cards makes way more sense for your wallet. So let's get things started by first thanking Aura for sponsoring today's video. More about them in just a few moments. And now let the showdown begin. As I record this video, both cards allow you to earn 60,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points, and they have the same spend requirement too, of $4,000 in the first 3 months. What's interesting though is that the value of these points can vary based on which card you decide to get. So on the Sapphire Preferred side, that is going to be worth at least $750 or more toward travel. On the Reserve side, that's going to be a minimum of $900 or more for travel. We'll dig into that a little bit more in a few moments, but for now, just keep that in mind. For the annual fees, the Sapphire Preferred is going to be $95 a year, while the Reserve is at $550. So given this, the first place medal would go to the Sapphire Preferred, and the reason for that is because if you take the annual fees here in green font, subtract out the cost of those annual fees in red, you then see in bold white font the value left over. That'll be $655 for the Preferred, while it's only $350 for the Reserve. And I know for a fact that some of you out there are already thinking about the $300 travel credit that comes with the Reserve. In other words, covering a little over 50% of the annual fee cost. Well, here's the thing. The Sapphire Preferred also has a credit that gives you a little over 50% of the fee back. So the playing grounds are a lot more even than you might think. We'll cover all of that later, just stick with me. Let's first compare how these cards earn rewards long term. So we have the Preferred on the left, the Reserve on the right, and all their multipliers from top to bottom. Now, this will be easier to digest if I color code these, which I'll do now. Everything related to travel will be in yellow. The lift benefit will be in green, and then dining is in red with the base rate there at the bottom in gray. So here's what we've got. On the Preferred side, we have 5 points per dollar on travel when you book via the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal, and then everything outside of Chase that's still travel will earn double points. That's the other travel category. With the Reserve, they break it out into a few more subcategories. So it's 10 points per dollar on hotels and car rentals, again, booked through the Ultimate Rewards portal, 5 points per dollar on flights through the portal, and then outside of Chase's portal, it's then triple on travel worldwide. And although Chase markets it a little bit differently with special words, that's still considered other travel. With Lyft, it's 5 points per dollar on the Preferred, while 10x on the Reserve, and then dining has a couple differences here. For general dining at regular restaurants, it's triple on both cards, but the Reserve also has an extra category of 10 points per dollar when you book a reservation, for example, via the Chase portal. The Preferred has a couple extra categories here to earn triple on online grocery stores with some exclusions, also triple on select streaming. Then both cards will earn 1 point per dollar on all other purchases. As for the result this time, the first place medal goes to the Reserve card due to those super high multipliers for travel. It's nice that the Preferred has some at-home categories, but like for streaming, most services are 15 to 20 bucks a month. Even if you have several, you will not be earning very many points per year with that category. So we can kind of discard that for the most part. Grocery is nice, meaningful for some people, but again, 10x in so many other areas is going to put the Reserve in a league of its own. Now let's take a look over to the redemption side of the equation. So you've got a bunch of points and you want to use them for some cool trip. When redeeming for travel via transfer partners, which I will mention a bit more in a few moments, they have equal value here. 1.7 cents per point on average, meaning it could be more, it could be less. That depends on your itinerary. For travel via the Chase portal, that gives you a guaranteed flat value. The Preferred gives you 1.25 cents per point, while the Reserve gives you 1.5 cents per point. And this will give you access to things like flights, hotels, car rentals, cruises, vacations, and experiences. There's another feature here in yellow called Pay Yourself Back, also through the same portal, just a different option. And these categories are subject to change over time. This used to be a massively valuable way to do some cashback type of redemptions, since you get statement credits to kind of wipe out your transactions in these select categories. But since then, it's been massively devalued. So here are the current values nowadays. It's 1 cent to 1.25 cents on the preferred, and then 1.25 cents to 1.5 cents on the reserve. As I record this, the eligible categories include grocery stores and gas stations for 1 cent per point on the preferred or 1.25 on the reserve. Those are valid through at least September 30th, 2023. And then select charities for 1.25 cents on the preferred or 1.5 cents on the reserve. You can also choose to do cashback, shown there at the bottom in green, as a statement credit or deposit to one of your checking or savings accounts. That's a flat 1 cent per point as well. So while the redemptions for both transfer partners and cashback are identical, we do have some much better improvements for the pay yourself back and portal-based travel on the reserve side. Therefore, the first place medal here will go to the reserve for those higher rates. Now, as we continue our comparison about these two awesome cards right here, as you start to narrow things down and decide which one's going to be a better fit for you, and if you're about to apply, I want to remind you all how important it is to stay safe online. Whenever you apply for a new card or bank online, you want to make sure your information is secure and get alerted if it's not. You're doing your best to create a better financial future for yourself. Don't let a scammer take that away from you. Have you ever Googled yourself and were shocked to find your personal information exposed on one of those public listing sites? These sites can have your full name, email, and even your personal address. That's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, Aura. Aura can identify the data brokers exposing your info and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. You can try Aura free for 2 weeks using my link right here. Aura also includes so much more to protect you and your family from online threats, including a built-in antivirus software, VPN, password management tool, identity theft protection, and more. It basically gives you a single place to go for your online protection needs at one affordable price. I also love the ability to get alerts whenever my credit report is viewed and when a new card gets reported for the first time. You can either let people continue to exploit and profit off your private information, or you can take action by going to aura.com/MarkReese to start your 2-week free trial. I'll also put the link down below in the description, that way you can find it really easily. Now back to the battle between the preferred and the reserve. As great as these two cards have been so far with their rewards on both the earning and redeeming fronts, there's even more to like with the benefits. So let's compare those now. I've organized the main benefits into 10 major categories. Starting here in the top with the light green font is the travel related credits. The Sapphire Preferred gives you up to a $50 hotel credit when booking through the portal, while the Reserve gives you up to a $300 travel credit that works via the portal or even outside of the portal. For an anniversary bonus, the Sapphire Preferred gives you 10% of what you spent in the year back in the form of points, while the Reserve does not have a similar benefit. The TSA PreCheck or Global Entry credit is offered on the Reserve card. It actually includes Nexus, by the way. And for lounge access, again, only the Reserve comes with this type of benefit. It gives you both Priority Pass Select and access to the Chase Sapphire Lounge by the club network that's being built out now. Although the Chase Lounges are part of Priority Pass, though there are some big discrepancies about what you can do to get in versus not. So if you're curious about the lounge access to the Chase Lounges, check out my video walkthrough tour here of the Boston location, plus a lot of great applicable info about how you can get in. If you're in need of renting a car, the Sapphire Preferred won't help much in the way of benefits, but the Reserve definitely will. You can enroll to get National Emerald Club Executive status plus some discounts, as well as Avis Preferred discounts and Audi On Demand discounts. Then moving into the more lifestyle type of benefits, the Sapphire Reserve gives you access to something called Reserved by Sapphire. That gives you VIP access to sports, festivals, dining, and entertainment with exclusive lounges, early ticket sales, premium seating, and more. And then there are a bunch of partner benefits with other merchants like Lyft, DoorDash, Peloton, and Instacart, plus GoPuff. A lot of small different nuances here. You can pause the screen as long as you would like. basically the Reserve has higher credits or a longer subscription period. Neither card will charge you foreign transaction fees on your purchases outside of the United States, and for authorized users, they're going to be $0 each on the Preferred, while they're $75 each on the Reserve. So with those elevated credits for travel and TSA PreCheck, also lounge access, rental car privileges, lifestyle benefits, and even more elevated partner benefits, the first place medal here will definitely go to the Sapphire Reserve. How about those transfer partners? Well, with the airlines, there's no difference whatsoever. Everything from Aer Lingus down to Virgin Atlantic will be the exact same, and the transfer ratios are identical as well. So both of these here get the first place medals as a tie. And the same holds true for the hotel programs. IHG, Marriott Bonvoy, and World of Hyatt, no difference whatsoever in the programs or the transfer ratios, therefore they are a tie once more. But where we start to see some more subtle differences are on the insurance and protection side of this. Let's first look at the ones for travel. There are a lot here with a ton of fine print. Of course, terms and conditions do apply, so read those before you use these. For that same reason, I'm not going to read all of this to you, so feel free to pause this screen as long as you would like to read over the main points that I did include, like the deductibles, the maximum allowances, etc. But what you will notice here, and what I'll point out, is now highlighted in bold yellow font, is for trip delay, the Reserve begins at over 6 hours, while the Preferred needs at least 12 hours to kick in. Also for travel accident insurance, the Reserve is up to $1 million for common carrier, while the Preferred is at half that, $500K. Also note that there is no medical and dental protection on the Preferred or emergency evacuation, but both of those are found on the Reserve side. So for these reasons, I'm going to give the first place medal to the Sapphire Reserve. Same type of thing here with the retail protections. A lot of fine print goes into this, so read that if you're going to use the benefit, but for the simplified version here on the screen, note that the Preferred does not have return protection, while the Reserve does, and neither card offers cell phone protection. Now, also highlighting a few things here in bold yellow font, the purchase protection benefit on the Preferred is up to $500 per claim, while on the Reserve, it's up to $10,000. So due to that huge difference, plus the inclusion of return protection, the first place medal will definitely go to the Sapphire Reserve. And now, time to count up those medals for the final score. We've got the Sapphire Preferred with 3 first place medals and 5 second place, while the Reserve has 7 first place and 1 second place. So the overall trophy will go to the Sapphire Reserve. Does that mean you should definitely go run out and get the Reserve instead of the Preferred? Well, some people maybe so, but not necessarily for everybody. Let's compare a few more things here from a broader perspective. The Sapphire Preferred is going to be best for those people who want entry-level rewards and benefits while also spending a significant amount on online grocery and streaming as well, but we discussed that earlier, probably not going to earn very much from that. So that's kind of like the tangential category. However, on the Reserve side, that is likely going to be a better fit for those of you wanting higher rewards rates, lounge access, and the top tier coverage for insurance protections. Expanding on that a bit further, you might want to consider getting the Preferred card if you spend primarily on travel, dining, and online grocery. Also, if you like simple, good value travel redemptions, that was the 1.25 cent per point rate via the portal, plus access to those transfer partners. Also, if you want good insurance protections for travel and retail, and if you prefer a lower fee card and or a multi-card setup. On the flip side, you may want to consider the Sapphire Reserve if you spend primarily on travel and dining, like simple, great value travel redemptions, now referring to 1.5 cents per point, still with access to those same great transfer partners. If you want top tier insurance protections for travel and retail, if you value airport lounge access, we'll use the annual $300 travel credit. Really important there because if you don't travel every year, that's a really big annual fee otherwise that you have to be able to digest. And also the Reserve makes good sense if you want to build a higher value Chase Duo, Trifecta, etc., where you're using multiple Chase cards together to basically pool the points together and get that access to 1.5 cents per point or transfer partners. That said, you may want to avoid both of these cards if you don't travel much, prefer cashback rewards and therefore want to build a cashback focused card strategy, if you can't justify the annual fees, won't use the credits or the partner benefits because those are great ways to help you make sense of the annual fees, and are also if you're over 524. And with all that said, if you enjoyed today's video and believe it could benefit other people, then please help me get it in front of them by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on those notifications if you want to be alerted about more awesome videos like this one. Also, check out the links down below in the description area to earn some more cash back when you shop online through Rakuten, to get your free 2-week trial with Aura and protect yourself online, and to view my site with some great credit card offers that I've organized into different categories to help you find the cards that you like best. I thank you all for watching today's video. I hope it brought you some great value. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and while you're waiting for it to be uploaded to this channel, always remember that you are great.